That'll do, little eagle. I mean, nobody can hear this anyway, I don't think, at the moment. It appears that most of YouTube is down. Yeah. So what I'm seeing is Carly can hear me. Probably Jessica can hear me. Carly F., where are you? About, like, generally speaking. Because I think if you're in North America, yeah, see, for Jessica it's working. And for Carly it's working. For Q it's working. For me it's not working, and I think for the majority of people it is not working. It's hard. Live streaming's hard. I don't want to start West Coast. Okay. So I wonder if, I went to the map and it showed outages pretty much everywhere. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, the down detector. It sucks. There's a friend of mine who I work with and have known for a really long time. And she sometimes will watch the stream and then make fun of me in a joking way. But yeah, it looks like YouTube is, live in Maryland? Picture's not moving. This is a pile of suck. Well, so it seems like some people can see and hear me, but I'd rather wait. I don't think I can wait anymore on opening my Coke though, because it's approaching that horizon where it's not going to be cold enough to drink. So 2 very exciting developments. I went with a rust color in the background here. And you can see the spinning wheel I have there. That is the wheel of, man, if if YouTube's having problems, I don't know. No idea if the interview thing will work or if it's worth it. I wonder if it's better to call it for another night. But I can't do tomorrow night. Could do Friday night. I'm just kind of padding here. Man, I would be a horrible improvisational comedian because the moment that I realize that I'm trying to pad something out for time, my mind goes blank. Lisa, totally loud and clear here with no interruption. So it's very positional. Indigo. Friday would be cool. My fear is that I call it and then stop, and then YouTube fixes its shit 30 seconds later. So I guess I'm hoping that in the next 5 or so minutes, YouTube fixes its shit. Oh, and see, Larrikins, I was self-awareness is a curse. I wanted to open this evening with a reading from the Book of Legati on that very subject. But I don't want to do it now because nobody can see it or hear it. And I'm not going to leave this stream up if I do a redo. Casually talk about Hong Kong. I'm admittedly a little bit out of the loop for the past week or so, apart from just watching Trump's sort of desperate, unhinged tweet storms, which it's that phenomenon when somebody dies, or, well, more specifically, like when an artist commits with suicide sort of as a demonstration of the courage of their convictions, you immediately, or at least I realize this is pathological behavior, but I will immediately gain respect for that artist and might even start to like them, whereas before I might have seen them as more ersatz. And I realize that's, like I said, I realize that's not right. I guess it's an underdog thing. So immediately after it became clear that Trump was out, just in case, I don't know if y'all need a reminder, but this guy, right? Good looking dude, strong chin. When he wears like a shirt, a collared shirt and tie like that, it's sort of like, looks like when you pull a video just started playing for me. That's a good sign. But his neck kind of looks like when you pull the drawstring of a trash bag together. All the skin kind of goes like that. Will probably be me in the not too distant future. Luckily, I will continue to wear these, and the state of that will be forever a mystery. Let's see. Let me just check with people. Oh, back to a loading screen for Jessica. Shit. Okay, so who can hear and see me right now who would like to video chat? Who wants to live video chat? I have a reserved spot for Noct Hexen because she was the only one I was not able to get to last stream. But if she doesn't have Video's gone again. Yeah, it looks like it's going out and in and out. Crap apples. Blame this guy. Jeremy's Iron. For those of you who don't know, that's Jeremy's Iron from Dead Ringers, Cronenberg masterpiece. Ah, what a bummer. Yeah. Well, I'm responding to comments here, which doesn't make any sense. Like an idiot, I am responding to comments live in stream that nobody can see or hear. Oh, no, yeah. The team is working on it. Video just popped up. Got audio, Nicholas. All right, somebody who wants to talk. Who wants to talk? Who wants to talk? Who can see me and hear me and wants to talk? You? Could it be you? Could it be you? Could it be the eagle? Let's make that. Let's do, you know what? I want an Alexander Payne type. That's it. That's as long as it'll do. A 2-second dissolve. So of those of you who have video and audio, as I mentioned, who wants to chat? Oh, Gigi. All right, so maybe it's kind of coming. Well, Larrikins, I'll ask you questions and then you can answer them. It's a bald eagle that I got for a video. And I had him on my shoulder election night. Noctexen can now see it. Okay, Noctexen, you were up. Like this is going to be obviously this is going to be a weird stream. People may be coming in and out, maybe won't be adhering to any sort of strict agenda because I'd rather save that for when people can actually see and hear me. But Noctexen, can you... Here, I'll put it in chat. Oh no, Noctexen lost the stream. I think she might be fibbing. Loading. I'm glad you all are persistent. I appreciate that. That's pretty neat. Fuck. Darn. Sucks. I liked my hair tonight. This is it's not usually behaved like that, and that's basically bedhead because I took a nap a couple hours ago. Bobby. Yes, and I'm sitting in front of a microphone with colored beads around the pop filter. Pop filter. Okay, so for those of you who can see the stream, hit me. Let's do some yeah. Well, my dream hair is Daryl Hall from Hall & Oates back in the 80s. So oh, Grace just got the error screen. Oh boy. That's why I want to try this interview thing. Somebody who can see and hear. Let me know. Soft floof. Well, I'll show you what I like in my mind. Like since I was, I don't know, second or third grade, I think. It was Hall & Oates appearing on SCTV. They played a song called Did It in a Minute and participated in a sketch on the Bobby Bittman show. I'm sorry, Bobby Bittman was the comedian on the show, that show that Bobby Bittman was on. And they did a sketch called Chariots of Eggs. Very funny. They were horrible, like as far as like acting goes, but I mean, come on. How can you? Like, look at that. Anyway, so I have a possibly unhealthy fascination / fixation / when I was in my formative years, possibly some sort of crush on Daryl Hall. Poppy, so that means you can see and hear me. Let's talk. Jessica, my toilet paper is whatever way I happen to put it on. I don't try, but I really prefer under. I really do. Over is just way too prone to too much spooling. No, not the lion's mane, Lisa. No. The lion's mane was a little later. That was like out of touch. That was Big Bang Boom. I'm talking about Along the Red Ledge, Abandoned Luncheonette, Bigger Than Both of Us, Voices really is the era I'm talking about. I'm listing Hall & Oates albums in a knowledgeable way because I was a little obsessed with them when I was younger. I am letting my hair grow out. I'm leaving this Hall & Oates picture up far too long. Oh, damn it, Bobby. Francis cursed. I don't know. When I looked up Brittany, and then it's weird. It's so weird how like when you how your brain associates, right? Like I've heard Brittany mentioned probably maybe 3 times, but maybe 2, at least 2 times since that stream. And apart from like playing Ultima, I hadn't really heard it mentioned much before that. But I guess it's just that I'm attuned to it now. So people can kind of see the stream. So if you can see the stream and you would like to talk about, I still don't know if I want to go down the route of That's gross. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was not, I mean, by this time, I think I had more or less grown out of my Hall and Oates phase, but, even had I not, this was not the lion's mane was not what I was into. So here we go. If you can see and you can hear me, and you want to talk, just say, Larrikins volunteered. Larrikins. Okay, Larrikins. All right, so we'll see if we can get Larrikins on. Yes, what you all are, what everyone is missing. Don't try changing the quality. All right, I'm going to check my Gmail address. So really, honestly, like if you can see and hear me. Oh, what did I put? Sorry, yes. Q is right. It's just a dead symbol at gmail.com. This is a mess. Switch to this camera for a while. Oh, bummer, lag, huh? Well, Lady Nerevar, basically, if you just send me a hey to a dead symbol at gmail.com, and I will assume that you want to chat. Oh, Larrikins. All right, so Larrikins, I am sending you a link. If you could go to that link. So Larrikins is going to the link. How many cameras do I have going? I have 3 cameras going, Bernard. Right now I have what is actually a macro lens on this puppy. So, we could get really, although the light is not really fit for macro right now. Come on. Let's see. Yeah, so we get really, really close up on some stuff. Ouch. Because it is a macro lens. But now it is just it's doing this lovely thing where it's trying to help me focus. Let's come back here because we have Larrikins joining. So Larrikins is in the green room. Let's see if this is going to work. Hello, Larrykins. Can you
Hey,
hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, and it seems like there's not much lag, which I'm shocked by, as
That makes a nice
usual.
change.
How are you doing?
Not too bad. Just try not to. My house is very small and the walls are very thin here, so I'm trying not to wake up my
Shout,
entire family at 1 o'clock in the morning. So,
shout something. Do it. Like, yell.
uh, not worth it. Not worth the pain.
Your accent is Southern English, right? So you're like London
It is
area?
indeed. Yes. Yeah, I live pretty much in London.
Wow. Um,
Very good.
so when you say you live, so people say, like I live in New York, and actually they live in like Bayonne or something, right? Uh, so when you say you live pretty much in London, obviously without giving up too much away, like, do you walk
Um,
places or do you drive places?
I walk places.
Oh,
Um, we have London transport here, which basically means I am in London, even though I'm in Zone 6, which people say is not real London,
but
but
on your mail.
basically is. Not on my mail. No, not anymore.
Oh, okay. But at one point it was. So
But
they
technically,
districted
basically,
it out to
yeah,
something else, but it's basically
yeah,
London. If you wanted to go, let's say you wanted to take a ride on the London Eye, right? Wait, is that still
yeah.
up? Is that a permanent thing? Aren't they
It is.
taking that down?
It maybe, but they haven't. So have been on it once or twice. But yeah,
So if you wanted to do that again, like now, right? Which I assume you probably,
maybe
well, I
not
don't,
now,
yeah, not
now,
now, right? But
pandemic time, but like
oh yeah, actually, and they're like closed pods too, right? They're not even.
yeah.
It's not even like a
I mean, I
Ferris
assume you'd
wheel.
be isolated in with your family, but I've not tried it because I'd have to get the train there, and I don't want to get on the train right now, honestly. So
But could you walk there?
I could not walk to the London Eye. I could be there in half an hour, but I couldn't walk there.
Gotcha. Okay. So, um, so you're far enough away where you don't have to deal with the traffic and stuff, but close enough where if you wanted to go, you're still, you would consider where you live to be urban.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, it's a village, but it's basically not anymore.
Whenever I see, and I watch the BBC a lot, BBC shows a lot. Like I
Nice.
imagine the majority of the outskirts of London to be those sort of row houses like you see in Spaced. Like
Yeah, like the terraces.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
So is
yeah. There's a few of those. Yeah. Sorry. After you.
no, I'm curious if that's the kind of thing that you're doing. Like, is it like duplex or rows of like what we would call over here? I don't know if you call them this over there, but townhomes, or if they're
Okay.
separate structures. This is fascinating stuff,
So
by the way.
there's different kinds of houses. So like terraced houses, which are the ones that are all like in a row connected.
We
They
call
kind of
those
tended
row
to
houses.
be houses that were yeah, were kind of like houses for like the working class back in the day because they were cheaper and easier to build around factories.
But
Um,
now even those are
and
super
then
expensive, right? Obviously, because of their
oh
location.
yeah, of course, yeah, absolutely. I cannot afford to buy a house in the village I grew up in, which is swell. Um, then you get kind of like the semi-detached, which were built mostly in the 1930s and like a mock Tudor style, which is kind of what you'll see in most suburban areas in the UK, because they look a little bit nicer and easier to build. And then you get obviously the lovely fancy detached houses out in the
But
middle of
wait a minute,
nowhere
when you
with a
say
couple of acres,
semi-detached, do you mean like a duplex? Do you mean like it would be like a single house but split into two, kind of? Or
split in two. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah.
So it
So
looks like a whole house, but it's got two front doors.
so what you would call semi-detached, right? We call those duplexes. What you call
Oh, okay.
terraced housing, we call townhouses, right? Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have those phrases over there or not, but you're actually talking about this stuff as if from what seems to me like a fairly knowledgeable place. Um, is there any reason why that is, or is that just
We just kind of learnt about it in school, honestly. When
oh
I was about like 10, it's just one of those things that it just kind of comes up in history, geography type lessons. So just kind of urbanization of the United Kingdom, which is interesting-ish.
So sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done after you.
I've seen you around the stream for a while, right? I think.
I look, yeah.
Yeah. No, but I've seen you comment, I think. Or am I?
Yeah,
nuts?
yeah. I've watched your videos for about 5 years now.
Oh,
So
wow.
I look.
What's your favorite video? Let's talk about me.
I quite like most of them, to be honest. I quite like the binaural barber one was, I
No,
think,
wrong. That's
the
wrong.
first one I saw.
Wrong.
It just happens to be the one that I have the fondest memory of, because it's actually the first ASMR video I ever saw.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. So because someone had sent me like a link to this kind of like 3D audio, like barber cuts your hair kind of thing. And I was like, oh, wow, that's so cool. It sounds like someone's right next to me. And then the top recommended video underneath it was your video. So I clicked it and there we go.
That's pretty
Here
funny.
I am. 4 years later.
I occasionally will like go back to just kind of, I guess sometimes to make sure that I'm making progress in some way. And when I hear the audio on that video, I can't like listen to it. I was in an apartment
Not
with
to
like,
criticize, but like I understand where you're coming from.
yeah, it was like marble floors and just like there was very little in the apartments. It was just echoey and noisy and not a good place to record videos. I made do with it for about a year, and all the videos like recorded in that time suffer more, some a little less from the same kind of problem. But I couldn't soundproof it the way that I wanted because I knew I wasn't going to be there very long. But that's really cool that you were watching. So you were watching a barber video that wasn't marked as ASMR, right? It was just like a
no, it was just kind of like, hey, look at this cool thing we can do with 3D audio or whatever it was there. So it wasn't any kind of ASMR video. It was just like a close your eyes and it really feels like someone's standing next to you.
Do you know if it was Baba?
And then
That Baba.
hang on. I could not tell you for the life of me. I've not really watched it.
Okay, I'm just
Since
curious.
it
'Cause
wasn't
he
even
was
like a video. It was just like a blue screen with some text on it.
Oh no, then it wasn't. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It was
is
not
really
an
cool.
ASMR video.
Wow, I'm honored. So are you like into ASMR pretty? Oops. Uh-oh. I think I lost. Hello? Can you hear me still?
Hello?
Uh-oh. I think we might
I
have
can
lost.
indeed.
Oh, you can? I think there's a lag now. Um, Yeah, I'm getting like weird stutteriness.
Seems fine from this end, but obviously I don't know how long ago you spoke, so
Okay, well, it might have caught up. So, so are you into ASMR like a lot now? Or do you usually go to sleep and that kind of
yeah,
stuff? Or,
fairly.
you know?
Yeah. So like actually when I found your videos, I like going through some like super fun anxiety stuff with like university and family and everything. And then so I found all this stuff and I was like, wow, this is really good actually. And it was kind of like 4 years like people didn't know about it so much and it was kind of weird and I didn't tell anybody I watched it.
Yeah,
And now
it's like a
like
secret shame.
all of my friends in their group chats are like, oh hey, look at this cool video I found on the internet, and they're all sharing like 100 different ASMR videos. And it kind of feels like part of me is like I want to be like I was here first, I knew about this.
Keep out of my...
But even then that still feels like I'm kind of being a bit weird.
There's that weird kind of thing where it's sort of like when you discover something that's a little fringe and then it stops being as fringe, you get like a little territorial, not you specifically, right? But like that sort of territorial feeling of, like you said.
I mean, no, I mean, I do get a little bit territorial. It's like my friends like sitting around like, was the Cardi B on the W magazine when I'm like, okay, yeah, she's amazing and the video was great, but like I was here first and there's so much more out there.
Yeah, yeah. And so when you say you're in university, what are you in university for? Oh, wait, sorry, for
Not anymore,
clarification.
but I was like 4 years
You,
ago.
oh, okay, okay. And for clarification over here, university, we call university university or college, right? Over there, college is a different thing, right? If you say college, you basically
Yeah,
mean high school over here, right? Or like
yeah, like later high school, basically. College or sixth,
sixth form, is it? Uh-oh.
more university if that is a wish to do. Like,
I lost
but
about
I
half
got
of what
out.
you said there. I don't know if it was, if I think we're getting like weird interruptions. So, but I think you said something about sixth form. Is that right?
Yeah, so sixth form is like it's the same as college, but a college is an independent institution, whereas a sixth form is generally attached to a secondary school specifically. So I went to a sixth form, but my friends went to college in town.
That's another interesting difference, right? Is over in the UK, if you go to public school, that's considered generally prestigious, right?
Yeah,
Whereas over here, the rich people go to private schools, and the people who can't afford private schools go to public schools.
yeah, it's a little bit just like it's deliberately designed to confuse everybody.
I just find those differences fascinating. And of course, obviously, like y'all are all pretty much more left than we are, right? So our liberals would be the equivalent of your Labor Party. Is that correct?
Yeah, so
Uh,
there's generally kind of an equivalence with Democrats and with the Labour Party, of which I am a member. I feel like I just want to put it out there because Boris Johnson is
awesome.
trashing our world reputation
Oh,
right now.
whoops. Hey, look, I can't, I can't sit back and you don't, you can't, you're not allowed to complain about Boris Johnson if we had to deal
Mm,
with Trump for 4 years.
I mean, yeah, like there's like a. I feel like the difference between them is like Boris Johnson conceals his like
You're
awfulness
right.
and evilness behind the fact that he can actually string a sentence together, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
So that's something that like I remember reading, and I think we talked about this, not you and I, but in general, like have talked about
Yeah,
how Boris Johnson's entire kind of look at me, my hair is messy, and I'm not wearing a tailored suit, and I'm kind of like I'm just like you, like that's all
yeah.
just a bunch of bullshit, right? That's oh no, you froze. We're getting all. I think you totally. Oh, now I
Yeah, I
see you
think I
moving
lost you
again.
there on something.
Yeah. Basically, just talking about Boris Johnson putting on the act that he puts on to try and be relatable when he's really just
Oh
like
yeah,
a
absolutely. It's.
dynastic kind of.
I mean, his name is like Alexander Boris de Feifel Johnson or
Yeah,
something,
right.
and he
But no,
changed it
he's
to
Bojo.
Boris.
Just Bojo.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Get a beer with him. It's fine. Like he's really funny. He got stuck in a zip wire whilst holding some Union Jacks. He's so relatable. But no.
Well, there's some. I mean, look, I'm glad that Biden won, but Biden is not. Biden is not
He's
great.
not perfect. He's not
I,
perfect,
I,
but
w- I would say he's not even very good. I would go a little further. Like his
yeah, I
record
mean,
is pretty abysmal.
yeah,
It was shocking to me during the primaries when it was all like it just seemed fait accompli that Bernie Sanders was going to be the nominee, and suddenly the DNC got involved, and a week later somehow Biden was getting all the money
weird that.
and was the the heir apparent because he still served corporate interests in a way that Sanders won't, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, is there anything you want to say to anybody, or anything you want to you want to plug anything? You got any? Are you in a band?
No, unfortunately not. No, I am an underpaid, overqualified, overworked millennial. Um, and
Underpaid? Wait,
I have
underpaid,
nothing.
underpaid, overqualified, overworked.
Overworked, underpaid, overqualified,
Can you say
overqualified
what
for
you
what I'm
do?
doing right now, wildly. I'm a civil servant for the Ministry of Defense.
Oh, so you're in there.
Yeah, I'm part of the machine.
Are you
It's,
next door to the Ministry of Truth? Is it?
no, unfortunately, I sit in a medical center and I make appointments all day,
And
and I
what are
have a
you?
degree.
What do
It's
you? Yeah,
great.
that's what I was gonna ask. What is your degree? What should you be doing
Well,
if
I
you
was
weren't
an
so lazy?
idiot who decided that it was a really great idea to get a BA in English literature with creative writing, which, as it turns out, means I studied to be unemployable for 4 years. So
But you learned so much about like critical thinking and like the
I like to
humanities way
think
of.
that my writing improved, but
Do you write like on your own?
I try to. I've
Read
been
something.
procrastinating writing a novel for like read something. I have nothing readable currently,
I'm just trying. I'm trying to put you on
unfortunately.
the spot, American. I'm doing my
Yeah,
best.
no, I don't even trying to remember what I do have written, but I don't think I have anything that is in a state.
Oh, you froze again.
No,
Whoops.
oh, I
I'm
think
yeah.
everything
I'm
froze. Oh no, what a shame! It froze right now.
yeah. I'm hearing like little bits of stuff, and then it's cutting off. Um. Okay. Well, Larrikins, it was really nice to talk to you, and thank you
It was
for
really nice to speak to you too.
calling, and yeah, and thank you for hanging out. And wow, for liking the barber video. That's the only video I have that's got over 1 million
I
views.
like put me on the spot. I couldn't.
Go ahead.
It's very good. I
Hmm.
still think not as good as your other videos, but it's still great. But I
I like
don't
the
think I could pick one on the
premise. I
spot.
just feel like quality is the audio sucks, right? That's really or is not the audio is not where I would like it to be. I wish that I had done that video a little bit later, or got the idea for that video a little bit later, when I was better able to execute it. But because now it's like I have no ideas and I have all the equipment to execute with, but I don't have the inspiration or the motivation or the ideas to do them. Whereas back then I had all these ideas, but I didn't have the proper equipment with which to do them. Oh well.
I mean, that's always the way of things, isn't it?
It, is it? That's depressing.
I
You're
mean,
probably right, right?
like
um,
I had all these great ideas for like writing stuff when I was in uni, and I wasn't allowed to write my own stuff because I had like 5 essays a week to write. And now, like middle of a pandemic, I've been unemployed for 4 months. Have I written a single paragraph? Absolutely not.
you've been unemployed for 4 months because of COVID. Did they furlough you? How did
Yeah,
that
so I
work?
got made redundant. So I was furloughed. I was furloughed in March from my previous job, which
Oh
was with like
man.
a small creative arts charity. And so then I got furloughed, and then I got made unemployed, and then I went back to the MOD
Okay, so wait,
because that is
so you,
exactly what I studied for 4 years to do.
so you're not unemployed now, but you
No, not
be
anymore.
right. So, but being unemployed is what made you go back to this job that you didn't necessarily want to do.
Yeah, just kind of
Gotcha.
I needed employment.
Yes. Yeah.
But like I did, I was unemployed for 4 months, and I didn't manage to write a single paragraph of anything that I
Yeah,
could
but
ever sell.
it's so hard, right? I would imagine you were, kind of down and like, where do you get the motivation in that situation, right? Like it just feels, I mean, even just like the pandemic period, I think some people maybe are able to, I don't know, access reserves of resolve and then go ahead and do what they do. But I know that like, yeah, I'm in the same boat with you, right? Like I've had lots of time to do stuff, but I haven't done it.
Yeah.
Sucks. I'm sorry, Larrikins, but I'm glad that you were able to get work, even if it, isn't
Okay.
what you
Thank
wanted,
you
and
very much.
hopefully,
Yeah, part of yeah.
in the future when things get a little better, you'll be able to go more towards uh, what your degree enabled you to be able to do, right?
Fingers
Fingers crossed.
crossed.
Okay. Thank you very much for taking the time to
Thank
talk,
you.
and hope hope you have a good evening.
You as well. Thank you very much. How do I leave this?
Oh, I know. I'll do it. Watch
All right,
this.
cheers. Bye.
Bye. That was Larrikins. I didn't get her name. That was horrible. I should have gotten her name. Let me check in with we'll get what's going on in chat. Oh, people hopping off. Oh, well, that's, I understand. It's not the best. But I would like to know, like, what's the status of who can see me or who cannot see me? Is anyone in chat right now that can see and hear the stream? Eleanor. That's a great name. Yeah, I do. I love that name. Eleanor. Lenore. Right? Eleanor Rigby. You're spelled a little different, but all right, so we got some yeses and some nos. Yes, Nasha, that would be Nasha, you can't hear me. So I'm answering the question for somebody who cannot see or hear me again. Can see or hear. Jessica can see or hear. If you can see or hear me and you would like to be interviewed, well, I better write it in a comment. No, I'm going to do it here because that will automatically weed out the people who cannot see or hear me. If you can see or hear me and you would like to be on that thing, split screen thing, where we can talk, send an email stating such to adeadsymbol@gmail.com. Oh, Scottish Undertones ASMR has just announced that YouTube is now working for all of Canada. Oh, there's a lag, Grace. Oh, so I didn't say hi to anybody because I was just kind of, but hello, Grace and Lisa and Nicholas and Leah and Gigi and Colorful Dreams and Jessica and Nasha and Pavi and Lady Naravar and Xava. Oh, Xava, yeah, we already talked about Lexi, Colorful Dreams, I already said. It's hard for me to pronounce Kuchi Ziona, 1996. Q. It's good to see all of you. Nicholas. Off-World Colonist Tales inspired a lot of me recently. Going to be a D&D character soon. Oh, that's awesome to hear, Nicholas. I'm happy to hear that. That was sort of like just that was something I really didn't think I was going to publish. But yeah, did anyway. Okay, let's see. Let's see if anybody emailed me. It's like a pot lock. Oh, we have Lady Naravar. Okay, let me reply to Lady Naravar with so I've sent an invite to Lady Naravar. Nasha, yeah. If that's the case, then oh gosh, I gotta blow my nose. So I need to hold on. This is not happening with this camera on. Look at the oh god. Wait. Focus on you. Focus right on that eye. There you go. Look into those eyes. Let me mute. It's gonna blow my nose. There you go. Oh, look at that. That's very patriotic. You'd probably be more patriotic with this one. So in the green room right now, we have Lady Nerevar, who is an expert in Elder Scrolls lore, and will be schooling us all on, I don't know, Argonian mating rituals or Khajiit moon sugar trading routes or something like that. So yeah, please welcome Lady Nerevar. Hi.
Hello.
What? You've got a NT1A.
Yes, I do.
So you sound as good as I do, if not better.
I mean, I don't have anything like fancy set up, so it probably doesn't sound as good or
No, that
clean.
sounds awesome. You sound very, it sounds like you've got like even like sound, some sort of
I'm kind of
treatments.
I'm cheating a little bit because I'm using NVIDIA RTX, so like filters a lot of the noise out. So I've got like a big like fan on right there, and it doesn't really get picked up.
Oh, wow. That's
So
incredible. That is incredible. Well, yeah, your picture looks great and your sound is fantastic. So that's really, really nice.
awesome.
Um, do you want to go by Lady Nerevar? Or
Yeah, that or Ashley, Ash, whatever one, just whatever.
Ash?
Yeah,
Ash?
that works.
Ash, like aliens or alien. Alien was Ash.
Yes, Alien, isn't it? Yeah. Was Ash? Wait, was Ash the? Were they
Ash was the
the
cyborg in
android or?
Alien,
Yes.
and Bishop was the one in
Yeah.
Aliens. And who cares about after that?
They don't exist.
Yeah. So how are you doing, Ash?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Well, it's been kind of chaotic, right? But I think maybe finally YouTube got its stuff together. So I'm hoping it stays that way. Where can I ask where you're calling from? Whereabouts? Like a general broad.
From southern Scotland.
Wait a minute. Can you say something?
Hello. Yes, it is me. I don't sound Scottish at all.
No, I was gonna say I would not have picked that up. Is that where you're from?
Yeah. I'm a kind of like an accent vampire, I think is the best way to put it. I've ended up like copying people like just over time. Like whenever I've started working somewhere, about half the people always think I'm either American, Canadian, or Irish is usually the three main picks.
So it's weird. I almost feel like I heard you go from British to American a little bit there, right?
Yeah, there's some words I say like American, I say
Like,
like an
yeah,
American.
exactly. But so is that a Southern Scottish thing, or is that just you?
Um, it depends. I think there's maybe a few little like bits that could maybe like sound similar, but I think in general, just because when I was maybe like 12, 13 odd when I was first starting to like make friends on the internet, a lot of them were from America. Like two of them were from San Francisco. So I ended up just copying how they spoke a lot of the time. So yeah, it's when I'm angry, I turn Scottish a lot of the time.
Oh, that's a
So
great accent if you're angry.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not strong. It's not a strong Scottish, but it definitely creeps out.
It's not Sean Connery. You don't get a Sean Connery kind of, oh,
No,
yeah.
it's not the birch and the bees
Sheesh. Yeah,
kind of.
yeah, that is very good though. He just died. I just made myself
Yeah,
sad.
it is. Yeah, it sucks.
Him and Alex Trebek in
Yeah,
the same week. Very unfortunate.
2020. Swear to God.
Yeah, yeah. Ugh. Anyway, sorry. So you're very so true or false? I mean, obviously your avatar is Lady Nerevar, and you go by Lady Nerevar.
Yeah.
You obviously do know quite a bit about Elder Scrolls lore.
I know a bit.
Well, I mean, you knew who Michael Kirkbride was, right? And I think most people would not.
True.
So have you been a fan since Arena or more, or
No, my
the
first
one
Elder
before?
Scrolls game was Oblivion, and then that was the only thing I played. And then I got Skyrim when it came out, and then I only really started playing like Morrowind maybe like 2 years ago or something, and then
Did you
like tried
do one
Elder
of the
Scrolls Online.
remasters, or was that? Did you play the?
No, that was I just oh yeah, no, I played it on what's it called? Um what's it called? Is it Open Morrowind? Yeah, Open Morrowind, which is like they basically like built a brand new engine that runs it. So like it's, it like loads instantly. A lot of bug fixes, mods still work. So yeah, and then I decided one day like, hey, like I've always played these games and I don't know what the lore is. I'm gonna look this up. And then for like 2 or 3 weeks, I just binged Fudge Muppets YouTube channel and just watched everything and
I
just
can
picked it up.
I can remember playing Morrowind for the first time. I had played Daggerfall. I played Arena. I didn't like it. I didn't like Arena because Arena was basically just like fights, and then you had a map, but you couldn't actually. It wasn't an open
Yeah.
world really. It was just
Yeah.
a very sort of linear dungeon with different battle spots. Daggerfall to me was like amazing in a lot of ways, but also very frustrating because of how procedural it was and how much it was just
Yeah.
you were going into a new town, but it was really the same as like every other town that
Yeah.
you'd been in, and there wasn't a whole lot new unless you stumbled upon the quest NPCs.
Mm.
But then Morrowind, when Morrowind came out, I was quite blown away, and I can
Yeah.
remember even the specific. I mean, even when you start out in that port, Citadine,
Yeah, say the name, yeah.
yeah, they've got the silt strider
Yeah.
right
Oh,
outside where you come in. Those are like they're basically giant fleas for those who are listening who don't know Elder Scrolls lore, but it's how uh, what I forget who if that was. I guess that would be a Khajiit, uh, mostly a Khajiit
um,
method of travel. I don't remember where that
Dunmer
was.
mainly around
Dunmer,
Vardenfell,
right?
which is
Yeah,
the
you're
end.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Um, so, but I remember the very first thing that hit me that like stuck with me forever and still stuck with me like throughout all the time when I was doing game design was basically I was wandering around and you see like you just see like a guy fall out of the sky or something, and
Yeah,
then
that guy.
you go up to him and you find this note. I actually don't even remember. Like in my head, I saw him fall out of the sky, but he might have just been a body on the ground. I don't remember that.
No, he does.
Uh,
He does fall out the sky.
he does
Yeah,
fall out
you
of the
like
sky,
you can.
right?
Yeah, and there's like a specific scream that only plays for him when you wander by him as well.
Oh, you remember it then? Yeah, even better than I. Well, you played it more recent than I did. And then he has a note on him talking about how he's testing a flying potion and how excited he is to try it and all the things that it's going to open up for him. And I remember like just seeing that and then reading that note and laughing and thinking like, what a great bit of like storytelling that is right there.
Yeah.
And if they can manage to sort of, and then things get even weird. Like that was fairly near the beginning, I believe. And like from there, things
Yeah.
just got weirder and weirder. And Morrowind to me was like that was that was where they were doing the strange stuff. Um,
Yeah.
the whole like even like the Bosmer storyline and the kind of like their backstory and their green pact and refusing they will only eat meat, right? um,
Yes.
so and it's called into question whether or not they're cannibalistic and all this kind of stuff. Like there's all sorts of weird things going on that weren't. It just was so out of the norm from all of the Western RPGs that I'd been playing up until that point, which were just, hey, Tolkien. Yeah, well, this is just like that, right? But except, we're just gonna instead of dwarves, we'll call them something else, right? Or
Yeah.
there'll be like some horribly politically incorrect half breed class or whatever, and whether it's orc or whatever it is, like they always have an equivalent, right?
Yeah.
Half dragon, right? whatever. But Morrowind, although I mean their classes were kind of like that too, but in other ways they were very unique and very uh, just just bizarre in a way that really kind of captured me. Um, and then Oblivion felt like it just went back to Tolkien,
Yeah, I think Oblivion kind of had like, because it was my first, there's always going to be a soft spot for me for Oblivion. But looking back at it now, what I know exists in lore, it did feel a lot like they were Tolkienizing it to make it like more widely available.
more
Because I
palatable
think
for.
like, yeah, because I know there's the whole Tiber Septim made it so instead of Cyrodiil being a big swamp, it was all grasslands and perfect for
Right.
like farmland and stuff, and that happened throughout all of time, not just from one point onwards.
No, yeah.
And yeah,
That's the
it's
kind of
like
retconning that, yeah. Was that explained by what was that explained by? Was that explained by a Dragon Break? I don't even remember.
I think he Tiber Septim achieved Kim or Chim, not sure which way is the right way I'm gonna pronounce it.
I think we always
Which
pronounce
is
it Chim,
essentially
so but I don't even know
yeah.
that we knew how to pronounce it.
It's like so basically Chim, from what I understand, is you realize that the entire universe is the dream of a sleeping being, and you're so egotistical and confident in yourself, and you're like, yeah, no, I still exist. I'm not just another part of the dream. Like, I know it's a dream, so you lucid dream reality, and you was like, oh yeah, that shitty swamp I came from, nah, it's all grassland and perfect for farming now.
And that's what a great way to me that's pretty imaginative still, right? I mean
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
so but my honestly like my biggest well, I mean Patrick Stewart was a big memory you know, for
That
for Oblivion, but then also jumping, like just jumping everywhere so that I could get my athletics score up. Um, it just seemed like there were certain things that uh, they were a little clunky, but it was also kind of fun to find those things that you could take advantage of
yeah,
and game the system and feel like you won, right? But
yeah.
man, were there a lot of loading screens in Oblivion. Oh my God.
Oh boy, it's yeah, like every single door, every bit, like having the Imperial City split into like 7 different
Oh
districts
my
to save
God,
on
that was
loading times.
ridiculous. That
Yeah,
was like a
yeah,
yeah, just these sort of arbitrary walls like in the sort of hub
yeah.
and spoke thing and then yeah. Yeah, wow. So but what is your favorite Elder Scrolls game is Oblivion?
I'd say nostalgia-wise, yeah. I'd say for story, it would be Morrowind. And I'm gonna sound like a heretic to a lot of people, but I think my favorite overall is Elder Scrolls Online.
You're just saying that because you're
I
talking to
actually
me.
really enjoy it. On launch, for everything I saw, it made no sense. The lore was all over the place, but everything since has been fantastic.
Oh well,
And I've
I
played
left
through.
shortly after launch, so I was
Oh,
at launch and then I was at well I was at PC launch and then through the obviously alpha beta PC launch and then shortly after console launch is when I left. Um, so yeah, so a lot some of those lore weirdnesses might have been my fault or gone through on my watch and I didn't catch them. Um,
uh,
but that's very kind. I'm unapologetically a Skyrim. Um, I just can't like
Skyrim's pretty good still.
yeah.
I think the Skyrim hate's a little bit of like it's gonna end up like going forward where Oblivion's gonna be the new Morrowind, and then Skyrim's gonna be the new Oblivion, where it's like, oh yeah, it's a bit old and a bit cookie, but like it's pretty good. And then Hammerfell's gonna be like the new like, oh yeah, people who joined Hammerfell, they don't know the game, they don't know what they're talking about, you know?
So are you playing like I know Elder Scrolls Online recently announced some I think something to do with like Dawnguard or something, some vampire expansion
Yeah,
or
so they released the Greymoor expansion, and
right, but
then which is like the big expansion, and then they've
yeah.
got like smaller DLCs that continue the story. But if you pay the subscription stuff, you get those DLCs for free as long as you're paying the subscription, which is, I like that model. But I've not actually played since Greymoor launch, so I've not actually seen much going on. Um, but yeah, it's from what I played of it, it was pretty good. And they do expand on quite a lot of stuff that goes on around there. So
I have heard a lot that yeah, they have made a lot of improvements that
yeah,
were problematic at launch. But to be fair, that game was really made 3 times within the
Really?
7 years of its initial development. I went there in 2007, and at that time it was this needs to be World of Warcraft, right? Except with an
Yeah, I think
Elder
I remember
Scrolls
seeing
skin.
screenshots of it. Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
remember seeing the screenshots of like the ability bar and like everything set up like WoW, and it
yeah, and the
doesn't
quests
feel
were
right.
the quests were terrible. The quest there were we didn't they didn't want they didn't let us do long quests. They let us. It was like everything had to be a go kill 10 of this, 6 of this, whatever. Come back. It was all grinding crap. We couldn't have like these, multi-arc sort of storyline quests, which is what everybody working on Elder Scrolls wanted to do.
Yeah,
But we were
there's
not. So we built a lot of that, and then it all got torn down, and then it got built up again, and then it was like, hey, you know what? Skyrim did really well, and Skyrim's out now, and Skyrim did really well. I don't know about this third person thing that we're doubling down on. How difficult is it to go to first person? Oh, none of the art scales properly or looks right if you're in first person, and none of the detail holds up, and there's like polygons missing. Oh, like basically it was just like a, hey, let's go first person, which I think or the ability to go first person was the right call, but man, that was just like a fustercluck when it came to like the amount of work that had to go into to make that work, right? So I actually think the fact that it launched even playable was pretty decent. I'm good with it. Let me ask you,
Mhm.
Ash. So is there a reason that you have the Rode NT1A apart from?
So I have wanted to try and get into voice acting, and that sort of thing. Which it's been going okay. I'm on Casting Hall Club, and I've auditioned for a few things, and actually got cast in like 2 YouTube things, so not doing too badly. Um, and yeah, and then other than that, it's like just I don't know. I like having like a clear sound, I guess. Like it's mainly for voice acting stuff. So everyone, when I first got it, I was like, "Oh, you're gonna be doing singing? Is that what you're gonna do?" Like, no, 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 no singing for me.
So what casting club? What was it?
Yeah, Casting Call Club. It's like a website where you can like make a profile, and then people can you can either like make a project and list like it's like a video game, or it's a fan dub, or it's a YouTube series or whatever. And then you can list characters, have like, oh, here's like lines for auditions, here's this, and you can just record in like Audacity and then just upload it straight on as like, hey, here's my audition for this character.
I didn't know that existed.
So yeah, it took me. I found like it was like an old forum. It literally had like that old like forum layout of like folders going like into each other. For one that was like voice actors club. And I checked it out and didn't really find anything. And I thought, you know what, one of those, if they've updated it, and then found that, and apparently it's only been out for like a year or something. But it works really well. So like, so far I've been cast in a Destiny machinima and a thingy like a fun animation on the first Silent Hill game, like Silent Hill in a nutshell. So
Oh wait, what for that though? Silent Hill in a nutshell?
yeah, so like there's a guy who does like animated videos that kind of like poke fun and like stuff, have caricatures of the characters in the game. Mainly does like Final Fantasy stuff, but he's done like the other Silent Hill games. And then I saw like, oh hey, here's one for the first Silent Hill game. Which I'd recently been getting like really into the story and stuff of. And then I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. And then I got cast as Lisa Garland, the nurse
That's
from there.
awesome.
So yeah, it's only like 5 or something lines. And she's kind of portrayed as as like a drug addict, which was kind of fun to like put forward because it's all like done for less. But I did have to do the Do you know the scene from Silent Hill with Lisa?
I only like I played Silent Hill when it came out, and obviously played the sequel and Olds. I couldn't tell you that if she's the nurse.
Yeah. So
So
she's
is
the nurse you find that's like on her own, and like every other nurse is like a horrific monster.
right.
Um, and then like after a certain point in the story, it's revealed that she's actually been dead this entire time, and the Lisa you've been talking to is like the happy memory, like incarnation of her that's been created by Alessia, I think her name is. And there's like this. It's played like really somberly rather than as like shock horror.
I don't
Um,
remember any of that.
but oh, she like falls against the wall and there's like blood starts like leaking out of her head, and then she like is like, Harry, please help me, and like wandering forward. And there's this really like sad music playing, and like it,
Oh
I got to
man,
channel that, which was like watching it, even though I wasn't playing the game. I was like, oh my god, this is actually like really like sad. Instead of playing like, oh
disturbing
my god,
again.
she's
Yeah,
evil, it's like it's played like as in like a holy shit. This
tragic.
like the yeah, basically, it's honestly the Silent Hill games handle that stuff really well, like
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
yeah. I didn't even know that. My recollection is just Silent Hill, Silent Hill 2, right? Like, so like I don't even remember that much about Silent Hill 1, right? But wow, that's really awesome that I didn't know this thing existed where you could do what you're doing and be able to, um, hopefully you're getting paid, right? These are,
These ones
I guess
they were
that's a
advertised
personal.
for free.
Oh,
So
okay.
there are ones that are advertised as paid positions. But they're always like, this was upload like this project was created like 30 minutes ago, and there's already like 70 auditions because it's a
Yeah.
paid role. Um, so I think I don't mind not getting paid because I already have a day job, so it's not like I need the money, but I wouldn't mind turning it into a career eventually.
And so it might even be that like this is a great, I don't know what your experience was prior to this, right? But
Mm,
doing the free ones is a great way to get your skill level to where
yeah,
you want to be to before you're actually in that pool of auditions for these higher paid roles.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Uh, it's interesting. I not to turn this around to talk about myself. um, uh, when I worked at a very small game company in the early aughts, like around 2003, 2004, and one of the games that we did cast a main character, um, and the voice for that main character ended up being Noel North, but at that time, nobody knew who the hell the guy was, right? And he was doing a British accent, and so he had maybe 1,000 lines, something like that, between 800 and 1,000 lines for this game that I worked on, which was an Agatha Christie murder game, murder mystery game, and probably got him for very little money, right? And then just a couple years later, he did obviously Uncharted, um, and then blew up, and now he's everywhere. Him and I forget the name of the guy that did Joel. Um, Trey, I don't remember. Miller,
Troy Baker.
Troy, yeah, something Miller, right? Um, but anyway, so yeah, I look back and then I'm like, oh yeah, wow, look, back then Nolan North, you could get him for like a song. Um, but yeah, interesting stuff. So okay, well, I think that's awesome, Ash, what you're doing, and
Thank you.
I hope that you get a lot of success from it, and maybe it even becomes your like. Is that something that if it took off, is it something that you would want to do full time?
Uh, yeah, I guess like if I could get like, because I guess it'd be a big shift from going from like being paid monthly for work to something like, oh yeah, you're getting paid for like you're hoping games come up and you're hoping like this, that, and the other comes through, which would be a
Yeah,
bit of a shift.
yeah, and it's different. It's a
I
difficult.
wouldn't
Go
mind.
ahead.
That's what I was gonna say. I wouldn't mind if like the pay was somewhat consistent or good enough that I could like risk it.
Yeah, or what might be nice too is if you're in that kind of sweet spot where it's like, yeah, I'll keep my job and I'll do this, and
Yeah, that's true.
that's all right. Um,
Plus, it's good flexing with D&D as well. DMing, I can really give it a shot with that.
oh yeah, yeah, I would imagine that would help a lot, and you have to
It,
practice accents and stuff, and like you said, you're an accent vampire, right? So,
yeah, so I can do somewhat I can do a bit of a Russian accent, not the best, but
oh,
somewhat
it's very
okay.
good.
And then of course, step into your more typical American accent, a little bit more kind of Central Belt, I
I
guess.
can't do that.
Maybe kind of go a bit more Southern with it.
Oh, I can do
Uh,
Southern, but that's because
get a bit of that Southern drawl going on. Um, so yeah.
Yeah,
And of course,
that's
you can always go more posh British.
I like that. That's awesome. You've got it.
Yeah, I just need to get out there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope that you do and are able to, and hope that I just hope that you're able to do what you want to do, right?
Thank you.
And thank you for chatting. This is actually
No,
really,
no
really
worries. It's been
interesting.
great.
Fascinating. Okay, so we'll talk to you later, Ash.
All right. See you guys around.
All right, bye. That was really cool. I enjoyed that. Oh gosh, knocked. Well, yeah. I mean, I did live there for a long time. By the way, knocked. You do you have a slot if you want it? Yeah, I did feel. I felt a little bit like there was a, you know, like look how easy it is. Get on the ball, buddy. All right, knocked. You have a slot open and waiting for if you wanna chat. You don't have to, but if you want to, you're more than welcome to. You can. That's essentially a rain check that you can redeem anytime that you want. So since it seems like things are a little bit more, oh, really cool. Yeah, I really like the avatar. Whispering Wolf. Okay, knocked Hexen. Whispering Wolf. If you just send an email to a dead symbol at gmail.com, knocked. Gotta do the same. But before we get to that, I wanted to do something real quick. Now that it seems to be stabilized, I'm hoping that the stream is stable. Don't know if it is or not. But I wanted to read a bit from the book of Legati. Let's get some. No, that's not going to work. A very little bit of background music. Let's put a little bit of reverb on. Yes, that's pleasant. This isn't really a story. This is just a passage. It's not long, so you don't have to worry about it being unbearably long. It's possibly unbearable, but not in its length. Email to adeadsymbol@gmail.com. A passage from Conspiracy Against the Human Race by Thomas Ligotti. Oh, hello, Leah. I didn't see you until just now. This, it's a sub-chapter, and it's called Institutionalized. And this camera doesn't really work for this, does it? Let's go back to here. So, Institutionalized from Conspiracy Against the Human Race by Thomas Ligotti. And I think, you know what? Kill the music, actually. Undeniably, one of the great disadvantages of consciousness, that is, consciousness considered as the parent of all horrors, and that is too much reverb. Let's keep the reverb subtle. Okay. Is that it exacerbates necessary sufferings and creates unnecessary ones, such as the fear of death not having what it takes to take their own lives, ask Gloria Beatty. Gloria Beatty is the one of the protagonists from They Shoot Horses, Don't They? She's suicidal. Yeah. Those who suffer intolerably learn to hide their afflictions, both necessary and unnecessary, because the world does not run on pain time, but on happy time, whether or not that happiness is honestly felt or a mask for the blackest despondency. Every shrewd slave knows enough to be as perky as he is submissive in the presence of his master. And those seated in the head offices of earth know that the gales of gleeful talk must be blown the way of ordinary folk, who need to hear that things are all right all the time, or, if they are not all right, soon will be. Whether your ambition is to rule over your fellows, or simply to maneuver among them, a show of jaunty optimism is requisite. In a section of The World as Will and Representation, where Schopenhauer argues that only pain is real, while pleasure is an illusion, he writes, I cannot here withhold the statement that optimism, where it is not merely the thoughtless talk of those who harbor nothing but words under their shallow foreheads, seems to me to be not merely an absurd, but also a really wicked way of thinking, a bitter mockery of the most unspeakable sufferings of mankind. I like that quote. So if you're an optimist, you're committing an evil by committing this mockery of the most unspeakable sufferings of mankind. Those who do not wholly endorse Schopenhauer's opinion of optimism can still gain some understanding of what he's talking about when they behold a spittle-chinned demagogue bawling out homilies and falsehoods to a rapt audience. And probably somebody comes to mind then. Maybe. It is on such occasions that optimism reveals itself as so noisome that even those who customarily prefer an optimistic spell to be cast upon them may become queasy with a sense of the wickedness that turns the gears of the world machine. Wickedness, we know, is a categorical term proper to philosophical systems of morality, for those who care about such fabrications. Yet sometimes those who do not usually care a whit about such things are moved to bark out moral recriminations as the horribly clownish face of optimism brightens the sky to better peruse the bodies and minds being mangled below. Optimistically wicked or not, most people cannot afford to care, or care too much, if they are living in the best or the worst of all possible worlds. They can care only about the one thing that, for anybody who likes to think about being alive as being all right, is worth caring about. And that one thing is this: feeling good, or as good as possible, no matter what feeling good might mean to a given individual at a given time. For instance, whenever asked in so many words, "Hey, what are you doing there?" you might say, "I'm hammering a nail," or "I'm searching for absolute truth." Yet all you are really saying is this: I'm trying to feel as good as I can. Of course, you may be caught in a tight spot where the best you can feel is not very good, or is even very bad. These are situations in which the alternative, or the perceived alternative, is to feel worse. Ergo, you're still trying to feel as good as you can, though you might not see it that way as you mark time feeling not so good until you can once again feel good in the way you like the most. But as evolution would have it, we seem to have a negativity bias that reigns in those feelings which, when we feel them, are felt to be unquestionably good. As one arm of the evolutionary psychology hypothesizes, pleasurable emotions and sensations germinated because they were adaptive. Example: in past ages, climactic release from the stress of carnal desire was an unarticulated catalyst for the generative survival of our species, the link between the two phenomenon not yet being known. The illiteracy at issue is now long gone. Most of us are given to praise fleshly pleasure, though a few celebrate the biological drive that leads to it, just as everybody praises a good meal, but not the hunger that makes it so pleasurable. The analogy between these pleasures and others are also appetite-driven, such as those of a drug addict, but should be clear. Being freed of a desire is indeed a pleasure, but knowing the remorseless ways of nature, should anyone be thunderstruck by that mutation, she has put a lid on the extent of our pleasure and limit how long it may last, not to mention favoring pain as the main inducement for our behavior. If human pleasure did not have both a lid and a time limit, we would not bestir ourselves to do things that were not pleasurable, such as toiling for our subsistence. And then we would not survive. By the same token, should our mass mind ever become discontented with the restricted pleasures doled out by nature, as well as disgruntled over the lack of restrictions on pain, we would omit the mandates of survival from our lives out of a stratospherically acerbic indignation. And then we would not reproduce. As a species, we do not shout into the sky, the pleasures of this world are not enough for us. In fact, they are just enough to drive us on like oxen pulling a cart full of our calves, which in their turn will pull the yoke. As inordinately involved beings, though, we can postulate that it will not always be this way. A time will come, we say to ourselves, when we shall remake this world in which we are battered between long burden and brief delight, and without disruption wallow in gladness all our days. The belief in the possibility of long-lasting, high-flown pleasures is a deceptive but adaptive flim-flam. It seems that nature did not make us to feel too good for too long, which would be no good for the survival of the species, but only to feel good enough for long enough to keep us from complaining that we do not feel good all the time. Because in the workaday world, complainers will not go far. When someone asks you how you're doing, you'd better be wise enough to reply, "I can't complain." If you do complain, even justifiably, people will stop asking you how you're doing. Complaining will not help you succeed, nor influence people. You can complain to your physician or psychiatrist because they're paid to hear you complain, but you can't complain to your boss or your friends if you have any. You will soon be dismissed from your job or dropped from the social register. Then you will be left alone with your complaints and no one to listen to them gratis. Perhaps then the message will sink into your head. If you do not feel good enough for long enough, you should act as if you do, and even think as if you do. That is the way to get yourself to feel good enough for long enough, and stop you from complaining for good, as any self-improvement book can affirm. But should you not improve, someone must assume the blame, and that someone will be you. This is monumentally so if you are a pessimist or a depressive. Should you conclude that life is objectionable or that nothing matters, do not waste our time with your nonsense. We are on our way to the future, and the philosophically disheartening or the emotionally impaired are not going to hinder our progress. If you cannot say something positive, or at least equivocal, keep it to yourself. Pessimists and depressives need not apply for a position in the enterprise of life. You have two choices. Start thinking the way God and your society wants you to think, or be forsaken. The decision is yours, since you are a free agent who can choose to rejoin our fabricated reality or stubbornly insist on what? That we should mollycoddle non-positive thinkers like you, or rethink how the whole world transacts its business? That we should start over from scratch? That we should go extinct? Try to be realistic. We did the best we could with the tools we had. After all, we are only human, as we like to say. Our world may not be in accord with nature's way, but it did develop organically according to our consciousness, which delivered us to a lofty prominence over creation. The whole thing just took on a life of its own, and nothing's going to stop it anytime soon. There can be no starting over. There can be no going back. No major readjustments are up for vote. And no melancholic head case is going to badmouth our catastrophe. The universe was created by the Creator by damn. We live in a country we love and that loves us back. We have families and friends and jobs that make it all worthwhile. We are somebodies, not a bunch of nobodies without names or numbers or retirement plans. None of this is going to be overhauled by a thought criminal who contends that the world is not double plus good and never will be. Our lives may not be unflawed. That would deny us a better future to work towards. But if this charade is good enough for us, then it should be good enough for you. So if you can't get your mind right, try walking away. You will find no place to go, and no one who will have you. You will find only the same trap the world over. Lighten up or leave us alone. You will never get us to give up our hopes. You will never get us to wake up from our dreams. We are not contradictory beings whose continuance only worsens our plight as mutants who embody the contorted logic of a paradox. Such opinions will not be accredited by institutions of authority or by the middling run of humanity. To lay it on the line, whatever thoughts may emerge from your deviant brain are invalid, inauthentic, or whatever dismissive term we care to hang on you, who are only one of those people. So start pretending that you feel good enough for long enough. Stop your complaining. Get back in line. If you're not as strong as Samson, that no-good suicide and slaughter of the Philistines, then get loaded to the gills and return to the trap. Keep your medicine cabinet and your liquor cabinet well stocked, just like the rest of us. Come on and join the party. No pessimists or depressives invited. Do you think we're morons? We know all about those complaints of yours. The only difference is that we have sense enough and feel good enough for long enough to not speak of them. Keep your powder dry and your pessimistic, nihilistic, and defeatist temperaments in check. Our shibboleth, up the conspiracy, down with consciousness. That was a section of Conspiracy Against the Human Race called Institutionalized that speaks to the sort of part of the social contract that we have to act like we're happier than we are. Social media is a perfect example of this discrepancy between how people truly feel and how they seem to think they have to, or they don't seem to think it, they truly believe that they have to act like they don't feel the way that they actually feel. If I had to, that Coke went bad. If I had to guess, I would think that a lot of people feel those same problems and issues and have the same kind of issues with having to plaster a smile on the effort involved in socializing, right? In putting on that face. I think I talked about this a little bit last week, but I feel like that passage in particular kind of hits the nail on the head. Yes, Nasha is a very good suicidal tendency song. Except Pepsi? Really? All I wanted was a Pepsi? Come on. Okay. So we're almost 2 hours in. I'm happy. I'm happy that this was able to happen because we had so much trouble at the beginning. Let's see, colorful dreams. You were sent to see a psychiatrist, but she wants to get rid of you. There, Nasha. Here. There, Nasha. It'd be funny if it was just, you just framed the Pepsi can in the shot. So what is so dark and British? Britain, if anything, embodies this as much as America, right? The stiff upper lip, stoic. Southern English is not an accent. Well, you know what I meant. I meant London. No, Freddie didn't say hi yet. Whispering Wolf, what do you mean by that? All right, I'm gonna check to see. Oh, Noct Thexan emailed, and Noct Thexan has, from the last stream, has a pass that you can redeem at any time. So Noct Thexan, I just sent you the link, but I need to take a bio break real quick. And yeah, I'm gonna put on the standby everybody hates, but you love to hate it in a way, so you're welcome. But also, Noct Thexan, feel free to call in. Oh, and good night, Lady Nerevar. And I will be back in 2 minutes. Be right back. Hi. I have returned. I actually needed to walk a little bit too. I feel like I'm in this chair. Ooh. Wait too long. Listen to the calming sounds of the wallet and the pulled strings on a trash bag neck in a tight coat collar of the human-shaped fecal deposit. What do they call them? Fat burgers? Those things in doesn't it though? Look, I'm not messing around. I really, really like this sound. I'm waiting for it to break at any time. And if it does, I will happily be like, hey, that thing broke. You know? Oh, and please don't forget to smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. Tell 2 friends and they'll tell 2 friends and tell 2 friends. And Noct Thexton has not called in. I sent her the link, I think. Noct, are you around? Give you another minute or so here before moving on. I did, like tonight originally, I wanted to talk about substances, you know, and the line between substance abuse and somebody's, oh, it's knocked. It's knocked. It's knocked. Knocked is in the green room. So, oh wait, what can I do here? Guest 1? How does this work? Well, it's added more functionality. Sorry, I'm seeing new buttons. So I'm wondering what that means. It means I can... There's Noct Thexton. But wait, hold on. Hi, but wait, I didn't want you there. Hold on, I'll bring you right back. Okay, this way otherwise I'm looking away from you while we're talking, which is weird. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think there might be like a second lag or so, but that's pretty good.
Okay.
How are you doing? First,
Good,
what's
you
your,
know, things. Wait, what?
what should I call you?
Oh, you
Noct?
can call me Olivia. Yeah.
Olivia. Okay. Olivia. So how are you doing, Olivia?
Well, you know, it's been a stressful week. It's been pretty crazy.
What? Tell us.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Oh, just with like the election and everything, you know, just
What election are
crazy
you referring
times,
to?
truly. The one in America here.
Oh, that one. Yes. Yeah. It was a little weird.
Yeah, we almost forgot. Yeah, right?
It's been hard. They've been burying it on news websites. It's been hard to find any information about it. So I almost forgot about it myself. It's like I was saying earlier, like I almost have started to develop sympathy for Trump, which is dangerous.
Oh, yeah, no, I feel you there. It's
Yeah.
interesting for sure.
And I don't think he's the kind of person who would want that kind of, like, I think he wants he doesn't want to be pitied, I don't think. Maybe he'll take attention any way he can get. Like I'm sure he doesn't prefer to be pitied. He wants to be idolized.
Yeah, I can definitely agree.
But I'm assuming you're happy with the outcome. I shouldn't do
Oh
that.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's hard because I think, like most people, Biden's probably not like your first choice, but
Not even
you
my
do
third
with what you
choice.
can. Yeah, exactly, for sure.
But he's not my last choice, which is anything's better than
Yeah.
the last. But it is interesting
Yeah,
because
definitely.
you hear a lot. Like it's so easy to falsely dichotomize the two-party system, and especially certain people in that system. And Biden is probably he's one of the most Republican Democrats that there is right now, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, he's not gonna entertain the Green New Deal. He's not like he was one of the primary architects on NAFTA and that 1994 crime bill that I don't know if I think I might have gone over this earlier this evening, but I don't know if you're familiar with that crime bill, but right, it's the one that basically fed the prison industrial complex with lots of young urban black males, which is for drug offenses, for like minor drug offenses, right? Which is ridiculous. But I was listening to Chris Hedges talk about it a couple days ago, and he made the point, right, which has been made before, but it was really clear that for every a kid playing basketball, smoking pot is not making the state any money. Put that same kid in prison, and the state gets $40,000 or $50,000 a year to rehabilitate this person who may or may not have needed it. Then combine that with the dearth of public defense or the inclination of your sort of assignated but not really, heart's not really in it, public defenders who encourage their clients to take pleas, and you have a system where you can just, and combine that also then with the Obama passed surveillance, allowing you to be detained even if you don't have evidence for an indeterminate amount of time, and you have this system where you can just pretty much indiscriminately pick up whoever you want, charge them with something, convince them that they should take the deal, right? So that they don't have a chance of going away for 20 years. And they only have to go away for 6 months. And the state gets money. And it's, it's really crappy, as I'm sure you already know. But so Biden had, obviously, he had a lot to do with that. I also find it like weird that his moniker is Uncle Joe, because the last world leader who used that moniker was Stalin. So I don't know.
Oh God.
Yeah, like Stalin was Uncle Joe. So why would Biden embrace that sort of literally avuncular, right, name? So I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I'm sure I'll, and everybody we're gonna start tearing into Biden, very soon. As soon as the very last nail. I still feel like there's maybe like one or two more nails that need to go into that Trump coffin before I can completely breathe easy. And I'm really sorry, Olivia. Like I've been rambling for like the whole time that you've been here.
No, it's okay.
Whereabouts are you? I think you said West Coast. Right?
I'm from Indiana.
Oh,
Indiana.
No,
Yeah.
Indiana. Were you having problems?
The Midwest,
Midwest, yeah. Were you having problems connecting? Were you having problems connecting earlier this evening? Yeah.
Yeah, actually. I think for about maybe it was like an hour-ish. Yeah, the whole stream was down.
Yeah, all of YouTube. It seemed like it was crappy, but it did seem like it was very dependent on where you were. So who knows? But I'm glad that it got resolved. What do you do, Olivia, if you can say? Like anything that I ask you, if you don't want to answer, please, just tell me to shut up.
Well, I mean, vaguely-ish. I work in medical billing, so
okay.
a very interesting time for sure, with
So
the election and everything going on too.
do you get to see like the discrepancies between, say, where you work might charge an insurance company versus someone who's paying out of pocket, or do you have any? Maybe you can't say anything about this, right? But insight into, say, like procedures getting billed that maybe weren't even performed, or that kind of fraud, or anything like that you can expose here right now.
I don't think we get into too much of that with where I work. Not to get like too into it, because like HIPAA law, but yeah, I don't think we typically have to do that too much, which is a good thing for sure.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I have my ex-wife, is a dermatologist, and she's very, very right ethical when it comes to what she suggests people get procedure-wise. Oh man, now I shouldn't be saying this, but there are other people she has run into during the course of her many years of work who will push for expensive procedures that may or may not be necessary, or push for certain medications that may or may not be necessary, or that might have a much cheaper alternative, right? So it's always a little like it seems like you got to be your own advocate whenever you're going in. Don't just listen to if your doctor says you need X, Y, and Z. Say, it seems like the prudent thing to do is say, okay, I'll get back to you after I, check to be sure that is the stuff. And I mean, obviously, a lot of people have physicians they really trust, or specialists they really trust, and that's a different thing. But if not, but medical billing. Okay, so is that did you go to school for that, or is that just something that you fell into, or how did that?
Just kind of a stumble into, more or less. Not really anything you have to go to school for. I know you do have to have a certain degree for actual medical coding, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
But but on my side, not so much.
And you're so you're not German or from Germany?
No.
So what your name means night something.
Night witches?
Night what?
Night witches?
Oh. Are you a practicing Wiccan, or are you into paganism at all?
No, I mean, in a study sense, sure. I've always been interested in like folklore and like the occult. But I mean, it mostly just sounded cool.
Okay, so it's not okay. So, but where? Like, is that, I guess, is that a term that is used? Like, what is a night witch? Or did you portmanteau that together? Or is that actually, there is a group called night witches that are.
I actually found that online. I forget how. I guess, you fall into kind of like a Google click hole. But I think the name originated actually in World War II. It was like a band of female fighter pilots that would fly in at night to bomb the German troops, but interesting, awesome. I guess. I don't know. I know, yeah. I thought it was really cool, actually.
Yeah, that would, like, I mean, it's a horribly dangerous thing and probably very, very scary. And like having some kind of group camaraderie branding like that could probably do a lot to sort of allay fear, right? Because we're part of the Nachthexen, right? We're gonna go kick some whatever, instead of being put to the stake, they're going to drop the stakes. So yeah. So what do you do? What do you do apart from medical billing? Do you have any hobbies or anything you like to do?
I mean, like what most people do. I read. I like to do art. Just general stuff.
Yeah. Are you reading anything at the moment or recently that was of particular interest to you?
I actually started a new Shirley Jackson, or a new to me anyway, Shirley Jackson book.
Which one?
It's Hangs a Man.
Hangs a
Yeah,
Man. Is that a short story?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
I
don't.
think it is a shorter-ish story of hers, but it's still a novel.
Is it? Okay, yeah. I thought I'd read all Shirley Jackson, but maybe I've missed a couple. But if it was a short story or in an anthology, I probably wouldn't know it by name. So did you just start it, or are you like a ways into it? Do you know yet if it? I mean, everything she did was
I
great.
pretty much just started it, so
Yeah.
I don't really know a lot about what it's going to be about, honestly, and I try not to go into
I can have a guess.
most of her books. Yeah, right. For sure.
Have you read much Shirley Jackson?
I've read some of her short stories, and then the first book I read of hers was We've Always Lived in the Castle.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Is,
That's good.
have you seen The Haunting of Bly Manor?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, they really, like they were saying they were just that it was based on Turn of the Screw, but they took a whole lot from We've Always Lived in the Castle.
Yeah.
And there was actually a movie version of We've Always Lived in the Castle pretty recently, and I remember watching it and thinking that it was actually pretty good.
Really? Oh, the Netflix one? Is that right?
It must
I
be.
think it's on Netflix right now.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it must be. I just know like it was funny because like it seemed like a couple of years ago there was a glut, although obviously We've Always Lived in the Castle was written a long time ago, but there was a glut of movies that came out where people were poisoning other people with mushrooms, and that was one of them. Oh, shoot, I guess I can't say the names of the other ones because that would be spoilery. But there are a few other movies that came out in the past couple of years where it turns out there is someone poisoning someone else by picking mushrooms and putting mushrooms in their food. So I thought that was interesting. But that's cool. So Hangs a Man, hang the man or Hangs a Man?
It's Hangs a Man. Yeah, it's a weird title for sure.
Oh, is it one word like Hangs a Man? Almost like
Yeah.
hangman?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I think I do know it, although I don't know if I've read it. But what awesome choice, regardless.
Yeah. And her books are a little hard to get a hold of, at least for me and where I live. So when I stumble upon one, I'm very apt to snatch it up. So it's exciting to start a new one for sure.
Do you try not to use Amazon? Do you try to like buy locally? Is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I should do that. It's just
No,
so.
it's okay. I mean, you use the resources you can, it's okay.
Yeah.
No
Well, I mean,
judgment.
it's difficult. Like the last place I want to go right now especially would be like a bookstore or something, right? Like in touch.
Mhm.
I don't know. People tend to linger in bookstores, right? So it's not like it's not even like grocery shopping, right? Like at least for me, when I
Yeah.
go into a grocery store, my goal, even pre-COVID, was get out as quick as possible. Whereas in a bookstore, you kind of just want to hang around. God, I used to work in a bookstore. Oh my God. So anyway, can you tell me a little more about your life or what brought you to where like I don't even want to like I want to avoid like asking like how old you are or anything like that. So but like growing up in Indiana, like are you in rural Indiana? Are you in the cool part of Indiana?
I live probably like 30-ish minutes from downtown, so not like rural or anything.
When you say downtown,
I don't know, just a average big town,
but when you
like
say downtown,
Indianapolis
oh,
downtown.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you big into NASCAR?
A lot of people are, but no, not me so much. I have
Yeah.
been to the Indy 500 track before, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan.
I guess that's not NASCAR though, is it? I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about this, so I'm probably saying.
Yeah, well, yeah, that exactly. Like, I don't know anything about it, so I couldn't
okay.
tell you either.
Yeah.
Not my sphere so much.
So reading and art, you said too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what kind of art?
Well, I don't know. I feel like people who are into art kind of try and dabble with everything. I mostly just draw, though.
Do you have anything you can show on camera? Mm-hmm.
No, not nearby, but
I enjoy
it's all
putting people
far
on the
away
spot.
somewhere. No, it's okay. It's just far away, tucked, hidden away.
Hidden away. How long have you been watching, or how long have you been? How do you know about this channel, or how did you come to it, or how did that work for you?
I feel like I want to say the first video of yours I watched was your Life is Strange video, like the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might have been it.
That was like
and
5
honestly,
years ago now.
I know, it's
Can you believe
crazy. I
that?
was just thinking about that. It's so weird. Yeah,
It's nuts.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. I look back on that and kind of like with the barber one, I guess I cringe a little bit, but I remember feeling like when I did that video, I was like, oh, this is the first video I've ever done where the skin tones came out okay. Like I feel like I was always like making my skin very, very orange. But then when I did that video, I was like, I'm not going to make my skin orange. I'm going to really try really hard not to make my skin orange. And I felt like that was the first one where I successfully did that. And then I went back to making my skin orange again afterwards. But that one stood out. But wow, I assume you came to that after playing the game?
Actually, just watching the walkthrough because
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think my
That
sister
game,
and I were just interested in watching, like, yeah, basically.
yeah, there's
For
not a
sure.
whole lot of action in that game. You might as well be watching it and you can get as much out of it.
Yeah.
But did that game do for you? Like for me, that game was, in spite of its flaws, it was really like a wonderful sort of nostalgic feeling. Like it actually felt like it evoked the feeling of like an 80s movie kind of for me, you know, and
Yeah.
Chloe and Max's friendship. Chloe? Yes, Chloe.
I think so.
It was just like, I mean, that easily could have been a movie and would have been a good one, right? So yeah, I really, really enjoyed the game in spite of the wonkiness of the mechanics and some of like there were some parts that were just like, I remember like the garbage dump where you had to like find the deer and then you had to find like a bunch of different little items. It was basically like pixel hunting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was sort of a pain because the camera would switch at like these weird times and you didn't control it. And then of course in that same landfill, something terrible happens, you know, a little later. But yeah, that's interesting. So you came upon the Jefferson video, but you were not like creeped out by it? Because a lot of people find that video creepy. I tried not to be creepy.
I feel like my level for creeped out is probably not. I don't know. I don't think I found it creepy. I think it was mostly interesting. Yeah, just interesting because I had watched like or some other ASMR before, but yeah, I think that was the first video of that kind that I had seen.
When you say that, you mean an ASMR video that was basically like a cosplay as ASMR?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
for me,
the style, I guess.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last thing you said.
That's okay. Go ahead.
For me, it was just like, I can talk about cameras. So that was my tried to make it like great, I can, you know, and this thing that I'm interested in, I can just kind of ramble about it and not really worry if I'm being 100% accurate or not. And that's so the pressure was kind of removed. And I can remember setting up to do that video in the middle of the night in a small apartment. And right when I started, I don't remember if this is actually the way it is in the video or not, but right when I started recording, cicadas started going crazy. So for the length of the video, I think you can hear cicadas. I think I even mention it, but that wasn't intended. Everything was, you could hear a pin drop the whole time I was setting up, and then I went to record, and all of a sudden, you just heard cicadas or crickets, but I think they were cicadas, and they were really loud. Luckily, I wasn't using omnidirectional mics, so you couldn't hear them that much, but you can still definitely hear them. So that was a frustrating couple of hours doing that video, but that's really cool. I'm glad that you've been around for a long time. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's been cool.
Do you did you play? How about Life is Strange 2?
I watched a little bit of it, but I don't know how interested I was, to be honest. I felt like the first game just did it so well, and I don't know. The second game I just wasn't as interested in, I don't think.
Same.
Oh.
I tried to play it.
Yeah.
It just didn't grip me in the same way, and I don't know why. I mean, most games like that don't grip me. I think that first Life is Strange just had stumbled upon something. Like, I guess it might be easy to attribute it to genius, but I think it might also just be that they got lucky a little bit, right? Luck probably fed into it somewhat. And based on, I think, Don't Nod's output since then, I think it's probably a fair assessment. Is there anything that you wanted to say to anybody in chat, or anyone you want to say happy birthday to?
No birthdays.
Or questions?
I don't think I have any. I don't think I have any questions, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, thanks to everybody in the chat for always being so nice. I feel like everybody's. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's very much. I mean, I know I say this a lot, but I have nothing to do with it, right? So I don't feel like it's. I don't feel like it's self-aggrandizing for me to say, like, I really think it's cool, like how much the people who are here seem to be like supportive of each other and just very kind. It's very inspiring in a way, like you lose faith in humanity. And I don't think this necessarily would stop me losing faith in humanity, but it's a nice, but for me, like every week, that's what I look forward to, like just being able to read the chat and like see what people are saying, and now being able to talk to people even better, right? It's just very cool. So thank you for, taking part. And I'm sorry that you got bumped last time. I was just exhausted.
Oh, no, it's okay. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I think everybody had a pretty whirlwind evening that day, so I could not blame you for it.
Did Indiana went for Trump though? Yeah, that's Trump country, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It's hard voting in Indiana because obviously, like, at least everyone I know, you go out and vote, but the general, I think, consensus is that it's a pretty red state. So the chances of it flipping would be pretty slim.
It is nice to see the popular vote having such a huge delta, right? So even if you're in a state that that like, there's no way that this state is going to go blue, right? Like there's still it's still worth voting, obviously, because like seeing that 5 million vote delta that there is right now. I mean, it's not a referendum, but it's close. So it is nice to see that. Cool. Olivia, thank you so much for chatting, and good luck with your work and your art, and I'll see you around in the chat.
All right, I'll see you.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Whoops. Look at what happened there. Okay, there we go. Ooh, I need to have some water. I'm all talked out. All right, let me take a look at chat. Yeah, we're not going to get to the drug talk. I think it's important, and I'd love to have it. Maybe save it for another. Oh, wait a minute. Butterfly Composer. Yeah. I loved Vampire. Like, I loved it. That game, did I love it as much as Life is Strange? I enjoyed playing it more than Life is Strange. I enjoyed the ability system and the combat, even though it was wonky, much more than Life is Strange. I really liked the setting. Story-wise, I think Life is Strange probably still gets the nod. Oh, the nod. Don't nod, gets the nod from me. But Vampire took me back to when I used to play games like that, 10 or 15 years earlier, and there were a lot. Now there are not so many. There was a throwback game in a lot of ways, but so well done. Oh, God. So well done. Oh, thank you very much, Olivia, for coming on. Okay, so we're at 2.5 hours. Might go a little bit longer. So I'm gonna do 1 or 2 more of these, and then let's see. If these people are still around, I'll leave it as a surprise who it is. Actually, what I'm going to do is that sound was just my knee rubbing against the underside of the desk. I swear. All right, so I just sent a... Xeva, yeah, well, so I played the game version of Vampire the Masquerade, and it was so bad to me. I mean, to me, vampire, like, I don't know how to distinguish them except by saying vampire. I loved the fact that you could choose to kill people. Oh, somebody is joining. The fact that you could choose to kill people who weren't 100% quest, who weren't quest essential, right? And they found an interesting way of doing that, right? They leveled characters so that essentially, like, you couldn't kill them before their time, really. I thought that was really cool. So we have someone in the green room right now, and they're going to join us right now.
Hello.
Hello,
Oh my gosh.
Spencer.
Wow. I'm not used to the mirror. That's weird. Hi.
Oh, let me. Can I see your hand? Can I see your nails?
Oh,
Oh, that's awesome.
thank you. Thank you.
How are
Yeah,
you doing?
I am doing pretty well. This is not the setup I was hoping for when I first started watching your podcast.
Well,
Um,
you mean the setup for you to? I'm not sure what you mean by
yeah.
that.
I don't know. I guess when I first, because when was it? Like the night before election night that you did something like this? Where, yeah,
No, it was on
and
election night. That was election
yeah.
night.
Oh yeah, that's right. Anyways, yeah, I got kicked out of my house like a month and a half ago because my mom found out I like boys. So, well, she knew, but I told her that I had dated more than one guy too. So that was a big no-no. Anyways, so I had like a really nice microphone and everything that I had bought, but
So where are you staying now?
my boyfriend's mom offered to take me in, so that was really nice.
Can I ask what area of the country you're in?
Texas, Austin, Texas.
Oh, but Austin.
Yeah, it's blue. My mom's just crazy.
Um, that's terrible, Spencer.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. No, it's okay. I'm actually I'm pretty happy. It's nice to be out of her hair. So
Are are you? Do you not want to talk? Like I don't want to push on it if you don't want to talk about it.
I'm a very open book.
Yeah.
There's nothing really off topic for me.
Okay, because I do have a question or two. Oh wait, hold on. Someone else just called in, but so someone else just called in, but the person that just called in, if you could stick around in the green room for a few minutes, because I'm interested in I want to concentrate on you, Spencer. First of all, I guess who are you in chat?
I am Whispering Wolf.
Oh, of course, yes. Sorry. So
Yeah. No,
Spencer, this
don't
is
worry.
Spencer Whispering Wolf.
Hello.
So I think what you said was that your mom knew that you were gay, right? But
By
knew that you were bi, and but the fact that you were actually, what tipped it for her was that you were actually dating somebody.
yes, yes. I had previously dated a guy that same like a year older than me. I'm I'm 18, so I dated him 2 years ago, and my mom didn't know. But because I've been dating my boyfriend Daniel, um, he's trans, so my mom gave me leeway. But the moment I said that I had dated someone that was cis, she kicked me out of the house.
So she made that. So in a way, she was not recognizing the legitimacy of your trans boyfriend, right?
Yes.
And then when you dated someone who was in her mind actually male, then that was too much for her.
Correct. Yeah. My mother is. She wasn't always like this. She was actually pretty cool. She used to be a punk rocker in the 70s. Yeah.
Do you know? I feel like this is. I don't want to get too personal, but I mean, this is horrible. And do you think this is a temporary thing?
I know that they want me back, but they want me to change, is what they said. They don't.
Well,
They want me to just hear all the homophobic things they say about me, and not challenge them on it.
you have it's a big family. You have siblings as well.
My brother, actually, identical twin.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not. So yeah, that's the reason why I could stay sane there, is that I always had him fighting right behind me.
So, but what is his stance on all this? He's
My brother's gay. He's honestly him and I we're different and not different. Him and I are very the same politically. We both experienced our mother's descent into right-wing populism and white nationalism, which
oh my gosh.
she doesn't admit it, but a lot of the people she watches are very, very what's the right word? They dog whistle a lot. with yeah. So my mom will say the most something that should be considered awful, and I'll be like, "Where did that come from?" She's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not homophobic. I'm not racist."
But how can
She
how
gets
can she
really
possibly justify saying that she's not homophobic if she kicked you out for dating a man?
I I guess I don't know the reasoning behind that. My brother and I cannot decipher it. I don't think she likes the label because I think she knows that it's bad. But
So she just doesn't want to like be called out on what she's doing. Um,
yeah,
that, that is terrible, and I'm sorry.
no,
Um,
thank
uh,
you, but it honestly it's been really freeing to be out of the house and finally not have to hear her say really nasty shit to me. So
but even so, even when you were living under one roof, you weren't hiding your what you weren't hiding anything. You were instead living with her sort of oppressive. Uh, I mean, I don't even I can't even imagine what the motivation there was. Was she like trying to shame you or something, or do you think it was just like,
yes,
oh, yeah?
yeah, it was shame, and to try and get me back to Christianity because I mean, even when I was Christian, I still like dudes, so that was never really. I wouldn't say that really changed anything in my faith.
Well,
I
no,
would
but
say
right, as you know, right, there are a lot of Christians who will suppress whatever their actual feelings are and
yeah,
present a front in the name of their religion, right?
mhm,
Which is, I don't want to offend any Christians. No, you know what? I don't mind offending Christians. um, it just seems like you, even if you're religious and like you listen to Christ's teachings, right? Um, it just seems to me like there's so much hypocrisy in there, right? And um, the idea that a mother would forsake her own son because of sexual orientation seems pretty antithetical to anything that Christ might say, right?
I agree.
Um,
I I wholeheartedly agree.
yeah,
She
man, I go ahead.
yeah, no, you continue. I didn't mean to interrupt there.
No, no, I hope that she comes around or is able to. I mean, I just wonder what her end game is, right? Like, does she actually think like, well, this will show him, and then he'll come back and he won't be
I
bisexual
think that
anymore,
was it.
right? Like,
Yeah,
what's that?
I think that was it. Yeah, I think it was to be like he'll see that he can't be like this. That
Do you think?
being what?
No, no, go on.
I think that she because that's something my dad says as well is that being open about it will get me nowhere in life.
So that's interesting. So they maybe just what there's. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, they just want you to go into into hiding, essentially, right?
My dad does. My mom my mom just doesn't want me to be it. She thinks it's a monster, which I don't
Wow.
know why. Yeah.
But your dad is, I guess, on the scale of bad to horrible, right? Not as bad. He's just like, does he have like just like this practical? Is he just like, look, it's just going to make things
He's a
easier if you just
practical man.
pretend for a while, right? Like, or
Yeah.
is it
He,
that kind of a
he's
thing?
a yeah, he's a practical man.
Yeah,
Man's man.
yeah.
Um just very loves to hunt, fix things up, always self-reliant, doesn't ask for help. He's what you picture he's a dying breed, I suppose. It's the word that I'm
Do you
looking
think
for.
when you say a dying breed though, like what you described to me seems to be like, uh, and I don't know his political affiliation, but it seems to me like it's almost the he sounds like the standard bearer the GOP.
Yes,
uh,
he
so
would be who the GOP wants you to believe is everyone
yeah,
that
yeah,
is Republican.
man. Oh, that's. I mean, I cannot imagine that. Right? At you said you're 18, right?
19.
19. Okay, so
Yeah.
19. So you're obviously your brother's 19.
Yeah,
So
I can get him for you.
do you look that similar? Is it like same hair and everything?
99.9% identical.
That that is pretty awesome. That is.
It is.
Have you ever
It's
done
really
any of
nice.
like? Have you ever done any like tricks on anybody?
Yes, a lot.
Am I talking to Spencer right now? Is this
Yeah. No, no, you're not. I'm really Aiden.
Aiden's your brother's name? So, but you have done like twin tricks on people in the past?
Yeah, we have. It's always fun. I used to be very like, no, I don't want to do any tricks. But I've opened up to it over the years, and to be honest, it is quite fun.
I've always like you have such a unique perspective on the world if you have a twin, it seems like, right? Like there's another you. Like it's so difficult for me to even imagine what that would be like, right? But I would imagine it would be very comforting in a way, right? Like having someone that you can rely on, like not even a gene deep reliance, right? It's like
Right.
this person probably thinks about things in ways similar to me. Their experiences are different, and so they might change in some ways. But there's a lot there that's beyond just like sharing 20% of our DNA or whatever. This is, structurally, you both grew up in the same home, right?
You're right. Yeah.
Up until now. What about him? What's going on with him?
He learned to shut up.
Oh
He's a
man,
lot smarter than me. I'm
I don't know.
a bit of a
Well, I don't
lemon.
know about that. I mean, he's choosing the easier path, right?
Yeah.
But maybe it's not the easier path. Gosh, I don't know. I don't want to say anything that because
No, I honestly, it's just nice to chat, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I consider him a lot smarter than I am. He does a lot more due diligence with when he speaks out. Me, I'm very open. I don't like to hide things very much, and I like to just speak my mind. I don't like to pretend much, if at all.
You seem like a
So,
really cool person.
well,
Uh,
that's not what my
the
mother tells me.
well,
I'm kidding.
you know, uh,
I know.
I don't know what happened to your mom, especially if she was like a punk rocker in the '90s or whenever that would be, whenever.
She lost her fingers. She lost these two in a horsing accident. She blamed it on. She used to be pagan. She used to practice witchcraft, and she blamed it on opening up a portal.
So,
So
do you think? So, did she have some kind of like come to Jesus moment, or was sort of like I need to renounce my heretical ways, and this is a symbol or this is a sign of that or something, and she became more like fundamentalist in her beliefs. Is that what?
yes, 100%. That and the PTSD from it definitely caused degradation. I don't know what the word is of just from being very open towards stuff to being very fundamental. She said things like women having the right to vote was a mistake and stuff like that.
Wow.
And yeah,
I don't know
I don't.
how do you overcome that like that? Oh
You
boy.
don't. You just have to move forward, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't see any way of getting her to change. I don't think she will ever change. I think that she is dead set on her path being the righteous one, and she will not listen to anyone else.
I wonder if there will come a day that she will change and regret, you know, like just regret what she did so much, you know, like even if it's 10 years from now, you know.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, I'm glad that you were able to find a place that you feel fairly stable in. Is that
Yeah.
accurate? Or,
It's
yeah.
really nice here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
Um,
You're like, it's
if
really
you
nice. You're like,
want,
I don't want to go back home.
yeah. No, it's really nice mentally here.
Oh,
If you
okay.
want,
Gotcha.
drug abuse. I have no experience, but yeah. What made you want to talk about that tonight?
Well, I didn't want to specifically talk about drug abuse. It was more about kind of like I said in the description, like we sort of create these categories of what is acceptable or therapeutic pharmacological use versus what is recreational or what is taboo or possibly too dangerous or too addictive or whatever we decide. And like what is it that makes us decide those things? Is it profit margins? Is it, you know, like is it actually being driven by ethical concerns for the people who are taking these things, or is it, you know, is it other factors? Which it seems to me like it's largely other factors because it's fairly arbitrary. Like you have the label use for a prescription medication, you have the off-label use for a prescription medication. If it does what it's supposed to do, who are we to kind of to condemn, to poo-poo one and say that the other one is okay? Especially when we have, right? So marijuana is legal now in lots of places that still have prisons full of people that went to jail for possessing marijuana, right? So that's sort of like the ultimate, like if for some insane reason we decided that murder was no longer illegal, then by all rights, then people who were in jail for murder should then be let out. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem right to be keeping people incarcerated for things that are no longer, that we have come to sort of say, come to a slightly higher plane of understanding of something. There, that should be retroactive at that point, right? And we should be able to say, well, okay, we've learnt the error of our ways. So people who were accused of this or who were convicted of this particular thing should no longer be having to serve the remainder of their sentences, especially like we were talking about, like with Biden's crime bill, or the California's
Yeah.
3 strikes law, where you have like these ridiculous sentences for having an ounce of marijuana, right? Or you know, an eighth or whatever. You know, it's just kind of ridiculous to me. I don't think I have the time to get into it the way that I really wanted to, which is in a sort of more structured way. So I'm probably still going to do that in another, maybe like next week's podcast or something like that. But that's where I was kind of going with that. But are you straight edge? Is that kind of what I was hearing?
Yeah, I haven't touched anything. I do. My boyfriend in the past actually has, to help him cope with with his body. He just, and a lot of other things. Just a lot of trauma. So I know people that have done stuff to escape. And I suppose you're right that everyone does have their own way of escaping. Like for me, video games, but I can't really play a game that doesn't have any thought-provokingness to it. Like a good story, like how
Yeah.
you like Life is Strange and Vampire, but you couldn't get into Life is Strange season 2.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, I could play a little video game, but eventually my brain starts to recognize that this is just a pattern for dopamine and it's not adding anything. Just so I need something that engages me. There's things, yeah, just everyone has their own way of escaping from just from the world for a little bit, I suppose. There's cinephiles and people that, I don't know.
I mean, I agree completely, right? Like, and I realize some of these, it's not all arbitrary. Like some of these things are more damaging. I'm sorry, hold on one second here. I feel like, did I not? Okay, I think that's better. Sorry. So I feel like obviously some of these things are objectively worse for you or more dangerous than other things. But I'm talking about like even beyond that, right? Where there are areas where we just can't know or we don't know or things that we're doing that, oh, no, hold on, I just gotta, what, oh, okay, sorry. Man, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know. Sorry, I got that another call here, so it just distracted me for a moment. But it is everything is all about those little dopamine loops, right? Those little feedback loops of trying to, like in that Legati passage, right? You're trying to feel as good as you can in the situation that you're in, given the circumstances. So, some people are in circumstance, and that's why it's like this kind of shifting scale where you have people who are, they get everything that they want, and then they discover that they still feel this kind of deep malaise or this sense of dark kind of depression, and they don't have anything dependent on anymore, right? They're like, well, all these things that I checked off all the boxes, I should be happy. Why aren't I happy? And for people in that situation, also it can be dangerous because there's not a goal for them any longer necessarily. And there is, I think, a philosophical school of thought. There is Epicureanism, which is be as hedonistic as possible, as much as you can, be as selfish as you can to obtain all of the things that you think you need. But the goal of this is not to be happy. The goal is to reveal to yourself that even if you get all of these things, you will still not be happy, right? So it's sort of it's a weird kind of like, so it's obtaining enlightenment through being selfish and trying to be happy by being selfish.
Yeah.
So that there's all kinds of schools of thought on it, obviously, but I don't have I think because I've been talking for the past 2.5 hours or whatever, I don't have the fortitude right now to to start and build that up and have that conversation. But I do want to do that on a future podcast. I found your story really, really, sad and compelling, and I hope that it resolves in a way that is both good for you and, honestly, like good for your mom, right? Because she's gonna regret this. Like she's obviously, maybe she won't, right? But it seems to me like the odds are at some point she will. How could she not regret judging her son based on, gosh, I don't know. I'm a bit at a loss because, I haven't had to go through the kinds of hardships that you've had to go through, especially at your age. And I hope that you seem like you're well adjusted and you're taking it in stride and you feel okay. Would that be accurate to say, or is that?
Yeah, I suppose that would be accurate to say. I have had days when everything kind of seems like this is the end. That there's no way to move forward, if that makes sense. Because I'm in college at the moment.
Yeah.
And so from the readjusting and everything, I've had late assignments. I've had I've had days when I have to focus on, I don't know, I just lose my train of thought and I can't sit down and focus, I suppose is
Are your
more accurate
professors,
than,
have your professors been understanding?
yes, very understanding.
Yeah.
I've emailed them a lot and I've talked to them to get them in the know, I suppose.
Um, have you spoken to anyone about this? Like, have you?
A lot of people, actually. I'm very extroverted, so I've very few close friends, but the people that I am friends with, I am very what's the right word? I don't. I suppose connected to. I've built up a really good bond with them because I don't know. I like to talk about things a lot. I like to talk a lot, so yeah. But of course I speak before I think a lot of times. So
Yeah, thinking's overrated, though.
yeah,
Say what you feel, and then it's better to beg forgiveness than ask permission.
yeah.
I don't know why it seems like I feel like you can hear my voice okay?
I crystal clear.
Oh, okay. I'll
How's my
try to
voice
stop.
on this
Try
Apple
to stop.
mic?
Actually, yours sounds great.
Really?
Yeah, a little low, but I think that's
Oh.
maybe.
Gotcha.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
So, but when you say that you don't, do you feel like you're okay to like that this is something that you can get through, or is this something? I guess
Yeah.
when I say like talk to people, I meant professionals, right?
Oh, yeah. I've been really meaning to do that.
Yeah.
It's hard because I don't know. There's just a depiction in media of people talking to therapists and it being sort of for losers, I suppose, is how the media seems to portray it a lot. I think that the therapist or the psychologist is really, really smart, which is most of the time I think if you've managed to get that far, I think that you probably have a fair amount of intelligence on you. But just that, I don't know. At least in the media, I've seen that they're just scam artists or something like that.
There is that, right? And definitely like, I mean, my dad was a psychiatrist. I've been in therapy since probably I was 5, right? In one form or another. And I can't tell you how many therapists I've had. I don't know, but a lot. And yeah, more than half of them sucked. Like they didn't understand what the problem was. They were kind of just going through the motions. They didn't seem interested. There were all kinds of, and it really didn't have anything to do with their intelligence. I don't think it was just like a matter of you do need to do, like you said, like your brother's good at due diligence. You got to do your due diligence when you're finding a therapist, because if you're spending all that time talking to somebody, they better be helping you.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, yeah, what you look back on all that time and you see it as wasted, and then you end up in a worse position than you were when you started.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Spencer. I wish that I'm not, obviously I don't have any particular insight into this except to say that, you seem awesome. And
Well, thank you. But I've been watching your channel since I think the first one I saw was that barbershop one you did.
oh yeah,
don't
that
know.
was the same as before, or was it not? Was it Olivia, or was it? No, it was Lady Nerevar. Sorry, it was Ash.
Yeah, it was before.
Same thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's my most viewed video. So I think a lot of people probably found me that way.
I saw that one, and then I saw your psychiatrist one, and I really enjoyed that one. That one was really fun.
What my recollection is those psychiatrist ones are pretty dark.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I really enjoyed them. I thought they were really, it was a fun ride listening to each one and seeing how do you even write those scripts and keep going? Are they
The
somewhat
psychiatrist ones,
ad-libbed?
none of those were scripted. So those were just,
Really?
yeah, me. I mean, I probably had notes, right?
Yeah.
I think what some people don't know, and I hate to talk about something as frivolous as making videos right now, but is that I'll often like start recording videos and see if I'm able to maintain a thread through it and make something that lasts about an hour. A lot of times I don't. Like a lot of times, and people just never see those, right? I never publish them. So for every one that gets published, there's probably one or two others at least where I tried to do it and failed, or felt that I failed. Like I published some where I feel like I failed too, but yeah. So for those, it was just like I was reading at that particular point. I mean, a lot of Schopenhauer really, and so I think you would see that if I don't know if you've read Schopenhauer or not, but if you did, you'd probably be like, oh, this guy's just kind of aping Schopenhauer.
Can you email me that name?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll email it back to you as soon as we're done here. Yeah. I don't if you're feeling like you're not in a good place mentally, he's not a great person to. It's sort of like a stress test for your emotional well-being. It's like, and I feel the same way about like Conspiracy Against the Human Race and a few other books, right? Like if I'm not in a good place, I won't dwell on those things because they're pretty hard to stomach. But I will email you the name. What's
Thank
that?
you. Right now I'm in a pretty decent place, and I really enjoy. I read like 50 pages, and then I find someone else that I really enjoy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm guilty of that too, right? Like, and sometimes after 50 pages, I'm like, this person ain't telling me anything. I don't already know, or I care to know, or I can read like half a book and be like, I think I got what this person was trying to say. I don't know that I need to finish the book, or I just get distracted by like something new, right? And I feel it is hard for me. Like once I start reading a book, if I go to another book to come back to one, unless if one's fiction and one's nonfiction, maybe, right? But if there's like two fiction books or two philosophy books or whatever, it's hard for me to go back and forth between them. So yeah, but I'm glad you liked the psychiatrist videos. Those were a lot of fun for me to do.
Yeah, and I really like the most recent one. I forgot her name. How did you guys set that up? What started that?
Which one are you talking about?
It was the most recent one. It was like
Yeah, no, I actually deleted that one.
You did?
Yeah, so it's no longer up.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
But yeah, I'm glad that you liked it.
What tempted you to delete it?
I can't really get into it. But yeah, but yeah, that was a thing.
All right.
But anyway, okay. So Spencer, as long as you're feeling okay, I just want to be sure that you're not in any sort of situation where you need help or anything, right? And I hope that things. Man, I just hope that your mom comes around soon. Like even if you don't need her, right? Like I hope, even for her sake, I hope that she comes around, right? So yeah. All right. Is there anything you wanted to ask, or anything you?
Yeah, one more question. What I don't know if tell me if you've been asked this before, but what was the drive to start this channel?
Oh,
Not beyond the double red doors, but Phoenician
Right.
Sailor.
Yeah.
Like what?
I think it was that I was into videography and I was filming a lot of stuff and I was writing a lot of stuff and I didn't really have an outlet for it. And it never occurred to me to just like post stuff to YouTube because it didn't seem like that was the venue for it. But then when I came across ASMR, honestly, it was like a little bit parasitical of me because I felt like, oh, well, I could do this stuff kind of under the guise of ASMR. I could call it ASMR. I could do it in an ASMR style. It's not really ASMR, right? Maybe, I mean, depending on how you define it, right? But
Yeah.
that felt like a box that fit what I could, what I was doing. I could fit it in that box to some extent. I purposely like didn't put ASMR in my channel name or anything like that because I didn't want to. I didn't want to be linked to it that closely. And a fair number of my videos don't even have ASMR as the tag, or in parentheses or brackets at the end of it or whatever, because I don't consider them ASMR. But I do find like trying to do stuff in an ASMR style is a fun challenge. Trying to get things to fit into that one camera, talking about things that aren't necessarily comforting, really, conventionally comforting anyway. Some people, right, are actually comforted by when you talk about these kind of dismal, dark, depressing things. People can find that comforting in a weird way. I don't know why, but I do. And
Me too.
yeah. So I think what drove me to do it was just trying to funnel that energy somewhere and thinking when I found ASMR, thinking, well, that'll do. Right? Because I did enjoy, right? ASMR was something that helped me a lot. So I wanted to, I also had that, like wanting to contribute to that genre in some way. Trying to find a way to do that Ephemeral Rift hadn't already done was very difficult. Because I don't know if you know Ephemeral Rift, but he's done tons and
love
tons
him.
of what's that?
I love his content. I
Yeah,
think
so
that
like, but he has so much stuff that he's done that it's hard to find. Like in the beginning, I had a hard time because I would get an idea and I would Google it, and Ephemeral Rift would have already done it, and I'd be like, damn it, he's already done it. He's already done it. He's already done this. But yeah, but cool. I really enjoyed talking to you, Spencer. I hope that
I
like
really enjoy
things,
talking to you too.
yeah, I hope things get better soon.
Maybe.
And if you could like update us, or maybe we'll chat again another time, that would be awesome.
I would thoroughly enjoy that. I've thoroughly enjoyed this chat. I thought that this went way better than expected. I imagined me to be an absolute nervous wreck talking to you
You
because
no, you seem if anything, I seem like I'm the one that's coming off as nervous, and you seem quite relaxed. So, but I'm of a nervous disposition, so that's just sort of me all the time.
yeah.
Um,
What is it like talking to fans?
it's been well, like it's only been two times that I've done this, right? Like two
Yeah.
episodes of this podcast, right? And it totally came about from enjoying the conversation going on in comments so much that I thought that taking this next step would be interesting. But I've loved it. Like to me, this has been the highlight of my week. Every week has been doing this. So yeah, I
Yeah.
love it.
I really enjoy seeing all the other people come on. It's really nice to be like, wow. It's like I suppose the diversity of everyone here. It's just it's comforting in a way to know that it's not just like one, because I kind of just lump me in with art house movie nerd whatever hipster, and just to see all the, like, there was a teacher here the other day,
Yeah,
wasn't there?
Lexi. Was it?
Lexi,
Oh,
yeah.
I think it was Lexi. Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, just I don't know. I've found it absolutely fascinating to see all the different people come on here and all their different stories and how they've found your channel and everything like that. It's been a blast. I'll be honest.
Man, that is really, really, that is really nice to hear. Thank you for saying that, Spencer. And hopefully, yeah, I mean, hopefully we all are getting something out of it. And it just happens to be happening here. I would I don't know why more ASMR people haven't done this yet. I would imagine that probably soon that people will, because like how else can, like there's no better way to connect with people than, well, I mean, and still maintain, boundaries, I guess, or whatever, than this. And frankly, like the software I'm using right now makes it so easy that there's really no excuse.
I just realized there's a dark mode on here.
Oh, you can.
We've been talking
Okay,
for
cool.
how long, and I just realized that.
You just now realize there's dark mode on YouTube?
Yeah. Oh no, not YouTube, on the software.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that either, actually. Is there? Well, I'm already in dark mode, so.
Yeah.
All right,
Already
Spencer.
caught on.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope things get better for you soon, and we'll talk again soon, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Good luck to the next person on, I suppose. And keep this up. I really, wow. All right. I suppose bye.
I'll see you in chat, and we'll. But yeah, please update if you can. If you feel comfortable doing it.
I will. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I have a history test now.
Oh shoot. Well.
Yeah. It's okay.
Good luck. All right. Talk to you later, Spencer.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Wow. That was really cool. I enjoyed that. I don't mean to belittle it by saying it was a thing that I enjoyed. But yeah, that was really neat. Spencer is a really cool guy. Not that I would know what cool is, but to me, seems like a very cool guy. All right, it's been 3 hours, and I'm pretty exhausted. So I want to thank everybody for coming by. I know I have someone in the green room, and I promise that next time, if they still want to, I will get to them. But I feel like I would be shortchanging them if I brought them on now, because I'm, I think, too tired to keep going. But thank everybody for coming by this evening. Smash that like button. Wait. Is that it? Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Smash all the buttons. Remember, there might be a dark mode, so look for it. And thank you all for coming, and thank you all for calling in, and just to this community here. Thank you all for being so supportive of each other. It really makes me feel good to see. And I realize that's not the point, but man, I get a lot out of it. And hopefully you all get something out of it, right? And it's there's no downside for anybody. So yeah, good night, everybody, and I will see you all next week. And I hope everybody is doing as well as they possibly can in the circumstances that they're in, and keeping their head up. I know I am a pessimist, and I can come across as kind of a downer a lot of the time. But don't be like me. All right. Take care, everybody, and I will see you all soon.